All right. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Come on, get them hands going. You'll feel good. Feel better. Okay. I know it's a little weird doing it in the screen, but it's okay. Hope everybody's having a great day. Great start to your Wednesday. And if you're at work, I hope you have an amazing day at work. And if you're somewhere cold, stay warm. Anita looks like that's what she's trying to do. So stay warm, lady. But we are going to bring a word to you this morning by Bill Sailing. Okay. We did Susan's. So we're going to flip right around and do Bill's. And so Bill, as you watch into this, this is your word. It's persistent, persistent. And so I think we all probably think of something or say, you know what, I know what persistent means, firm, staying the course in spite of any difficulty or opposition. But is it tough to stay persistent? Like, have you ever, I guess where I went this morning in my mind was, have you ever had that individual journey, whether it's in your business that you're doing, relationships, where you second guessed if you were on the right journey? Like, is this the right journey? Is this the right relationship? Like, is this meant to be? And you don't know whether to change course or be persistent and stay the course, right? So it's not easy. And so when I look at the definition and go, I think we all could look at persistent and go, I know what that means, staying persistent and consistent to what it is I'm doing. But when I see in spite of difficulty or opposition, I believe that's what the face of persistent really is. Because I think about my life. I've had investments that I've wondered, should I pull out of this? Should I keep going? I've had jobs where I've went, should I pull out of this or should I keep going? And so it's the difficulty and the opposition that really makes persistence. If I stay through it, fight through it, come out on the other side, and I'm able to tell that story of staying consistent and persistent, really, that's where it means something. And I went back, I'm going to say this really quick, but I went back and I looked. I'm reading a great book I showed you the other day on Nick Saban, and it was talking about his first national championship with LSU. He won down in LSU in Baton Rouge. And he said, the national championship didn't happen in 2003. He said, it happened actually 2 years prior or a year prior when we got beat in Arkansas when we were supposed to win the SEC championship. And he said, it was a complete devastation to our team that we didn't get to go to the SEC championship because we got beat by Arkansas. And we committed then to stay persistent through the offseason, through the trainings, through the development, to get on the other side, to get the opportunity to compete for the national championship again. And they did, or compete for a championship again. They did, they won it, and that was his first national championship. So if you think about that, like I think about that in my job, like how many times has what it is I'm doing like hit me in the gut? And I go, is this really where I should be? But I think you got to draw it back and go, well, what do I have? What are the values? I think about my profession right now. Do the products work for the people that are using them? Check mark. Does our compensation plan? Check mark. So there's things that might have gut punched me at times, but I look back and I go, the core is there if I want to go forward and stay persistent and consistent. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know, hopefully that adds some value, but the quality that allows someone to continue doing something or trying to do something, even through its difficulty and opposition. I think of words like endurance, grit, perseverance, tenacity, stamina. I say it all the time. I'm like, that person was great out of the gate, had all the answers, not much for stamina. Like they just couldn't stay the course, you know? And we come across those people, right? I've been that person in my health journey and other things. The last thing that I want to say is, I believe, here's what I love. I believe success is not about the absence of failures, setbacks, heartaches, gut punches. I believe success is not about the absence of failures. It's about the persistence through the failures to get to the other side. And so, Andrew, I'll turn it to you on that. There's so many things running through my mind. I think about a farmer planting a crop, going through a drought, figuring out a way to serve that crop, getting and being persistent, getting on the other side and seeing the harvest, right? So whatever it is in our life, relationship, health, business, we got to decide if it's wholesome, and if it is, find a way to stay persistent. I'll turn it to you.
Well, great lesson, Coach. I appreciate it. And Bill, thank you so much for this word. And I found a quote, it's kind of a bigger one, so bear with me, but it says, nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Easy for me to say. The slogan, press on, has solved and always will solve the problems of the human race. And that's Calvin Coolidge. And I just think, what I love about that is we all can be persistent. We can develop persistence into our personality. When you look it up, it says it's a skill. This isn't something that we just naturally are or that we can't develop. This is something that we can absolutely get better at. And according to Calvin, it's more important than talent and genius and education. We just have to learn how to be persistent. So how do we do that? First of all, they're telling us to develop a positive mental attitude. And this doesn't mean delusion, right? Sometimes you can look at your yard and it's flooding and you can say, well, I always wanted a lake. But really, you got to deal with the problem that's happening, right? So don't be delusional, but have a positive mental attitude. See where you can find those silver linings. See what you can figure out that is the blessing in the hardship. Just see if you can find the positive. Next is find a mentor or a coach. And there are people in our lives, and really they're the ones that have probably gone through the hardest stuff. But there are people in our lives that we look at and we think, wow, they always persevere. Like they are pushing through, they're always going. They're the engine that could. And, so look to those people and see if either they can mentor you, or either directly or from afar, or if perhaps that's a book that you can read or a podcast you can plug into, but find a way to plug into a source that it shows that they are a good example of persistence. Next is develop discipline. And we can all do this in many, many ways, but I think the easiest way is to keep the promises to ourselves. Or the most simple, maybe not easy, but pick something small. You're going to drink a glass of water before you have your coffee in the morning, or you're going to floss every single night before you go to bed, or I don't know, you're going to do 10 push-ups. I don't know, that one sounds hard, but whatever it may be, pick something that is simple for you, but that you don't always do, and keep that promise to yourself every day, rain or shine, no matter what. Number 4 is to create a vision. So if we can be persistent when we really want something, think about our kids, like they see that Lego on the shelf and they're like, mom, maybe that's just mine. But they see something they want and they are very persistent in order to try to get it. We need to see the thing we want. So whatever that vision is, take the time to develop it for yourself so that you know what you are fighting for. Number 5 is to create a growth mindset. And we've talked about this on here before. What is a growth mindset? It's the belief that things can change. It's the belief that you can grow as a person. It's a belief that you can gather skills. It's a belief that you're not just stuck with the way things are right now. So if you want to have persistence, you got to believe that that persistence can change something in your future. Next is know yourself. And this sounds a little like, what exactly does that mean? But we have to know what drives us, and we have to know what limits us. So, maybe I know that I'm not necessarily, well, we'll just say attention driven. So if you tell me, okay, Andrea, if you do really well, we're going to let you get up on stage and sing a song to people. I'm going to say, okay, the last thing I ever want to do is well in that area, because I don't want to get on that stage and I definitely don't want to sing a song. But I do know that I'm really driven by helping other people, and that's really important to me. So if somebody said to me, okay, if you do really well, you get to pick 5 people and put them up on the stage, and you get to cheer them on, that would be really exciting. So we have to know inside us what drives us. And then we also have to know our limitations, where we can say, you know what, that's probably not in my skill set. I can have that growth mindset, but maybe that's probably never going to be a strength of mine. And if I know that, then I can know how I can persevere. And then lastly, and Coach talked a little bit about this yesterday on the Chalk Talk. If you missed it, it was really, really great. It's up in Renew You and on his YouTube channel. There's a little plug, but have passion. If we're just walking through life with the doldrums, what's there to even fight for? What's there to work for? What's there to be excited about? Have that passion, share that passion, and watch how persistent you can be. So thank you for this one, Bill. Thank you for this one, Coach. Look forward to seeing y'all back here tomorrow.
So 2 things, Andrea, great lesson. I love what you had to say. I thought about 2 things as you were talking. One is, Ken Bailey says it all the time. You want to talk about persistence, jump in a tent with a little mosquito and watch it run you out. Now that's persistent. The other thing I thought about was one night, me and Jerry Wyndham, we did some tambourine acts with a song trying to sing, and we were persistent through it, despite how ugly it was and how bad the vocal cords were. We fought through the song to get on the other side. And unfortunately, there's a video or 2 of around of that. So, Jerry, I appreciate your partnership on being persistent with that night. And I don't know what made me think of it, but that's the 2 things I thought of. And it is Deb Snyder's birthday. Sometimes she watches the recording of this. Happy birthday, Deb Snyder. And also Brent Wofford, he'll be watching the recording. He's at work right now. Happy birthday, Brent. Hope y'all have an amazing day. Guys, we love you. You're persistent for being on here every morning. So congratulations to you. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Great
Happy
call.
birthday.
Have a great day.
Love you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody.